I'm gonna switch right now to a different tab. We'll come back to this tab in a few minutes. Just for the next couple minutes, I just wanted to put these QR codes up for our referee report and our incident report. Most of you should have got a card at our meeting at Grotto, but in case you don't have it, you can use your phone and bookmark this on your phone so you have these reports. We'll talk about them in a few minutes. I'll give everybody about a minute, see who else joins. We have a good number in right now, which is good. All right. I want to welcome everybody to our meeting. Thank you for being flexible and coming to the online meeting. And as I thought about it, with St. Patty's weekend and some other things, thought we'd get a better response. And we didn't have anything all that much that we really needed to do in person. So I thought this would be a good change, and it's good. I see a lot of people from down south, which is always the issue when we have the meetings up here. It kind of takes your whole Sunday afternoon and evening out to come all the way up here for a meeting. So thank you to everybody for coming. This is our general meeting and training right before we begin games, which start tomorrow. So we're going to start out the agenda with a little bit of just follow-up reminders, some things like that to get everybody ready to go. And then we're going to look at some you make the calls and rule situations to make sure we're all on the same page and consistent. Rules that we're going to look at, a lot of them came up from questions and concerns from the scrimmages. Certainly want to thank everybody for doing working the scrimmages. We got nothing but great feedback about everybody. The coaches were very happy. In almost every case, officials were very good at explaining rules and talking coaches through things and helping them to understand. So that's always a good thing with the scrimmages. And we also were able to get 4 or 5 new applicants trained up. And I did just want to take a second. I don't know if they want to turn their cameras on while I introduce them, if I see them in here. Andy Martin, who actually had his on-field training yesterday. I didn't hear anything bad yet, so that's good. I haven't really heard anything good, but I'm sure he was great. And then we also, David Leon. So David is another Long Island transplant. He is a little bit bigger than some of our other Long Island transplants. Lifetime of lacrosse coaching, playing, kids playing. And actually, I wanted to congratulate him and his family. His son, David, is that correct? Graduated from University of Maryland Medical School yesterday. Actually
got his residency assignment. He actually graduates in 2 weeks, but he got his residency. He got accepted.
That's excellent. I did see a picture of you with another referee, a Baltimore referee, Mr. Ascanis. So that was very cool. Also, Evan Earhart should be on the call. Some of you may recognize Aaron when you see him, a former goalie at Cape Henlopen. and also the favorite son of Chris Earhart, one of our officials. I'm just scrolling down looking to see who's on the call from our applicant class real quick. So give me a second. It's true. It looks like it from the applicants. Of course, we don't necessarily require the applicants to attend the general meetings until we get to the final one because they've been going to our applicant classes and doing all that. A couple other people to welcome. I think Steve Smith, I think he was at the Grotto, but he's returning. Good addition. And then we also have on the call transfer in from New Jersey, Diego Castellanos. Welcome all these people. When you see them in your assignments, make sure you're welcoming them to our group, helping them out and getting them all started. I think we have a really good group. It's really going to help us moving forward. So thank you to everybody who's worked with them, and thanks in advance for everybody who will spend a lot of time working with them. So let's keep going. Dean, you got anything for us?
Oh yeah. Hey, I got a check over the weekend from the Foundation for Huddle. So that put 500 hours more into the account. We're up to 7877 right now. If I back off the doc fund and our training fund, we got operating funds of 2991. So I got 2 shirts left. I still have some money I think that needs to come in, and that'll close out the shirts that we bought a couple years ago, last year, I guess. Dues wise, I'll catch up with the guys that haven't paid their dues, or we'll take it out of their check. And the only other thing I want to do, Greg, is get with you and let's start. I need to invoice the scrimmages.
Yep.
So
you and I can get on the phone, and I think we need to make sure we get the mileage in there correct. So guys, hopefully the way I understand it should work is, once we do that, when they look at their assignment, they should actually see the fee, including their mileage. But if that's not true, as we move forward, we'll follow up. We'll send an email out when that should be in there. And then Dean and I did talk. We're going to go through all the scrimmages and make sure, because we had some scrimmages with multiple people, more than we usually have. So we're going to make sure everybody gets something for the scrimmages. It's going to be more than it was 3 or 4 years ago when it was nothing, but it's certainly not going to be your full game fees. And then we hold a little bit back of the scrimmage money to help with the banquet and all that at the end of the year. JP Bennett, a signer's report. JP, open your microphone. I know he's here. All right, I'll talk for him for a minute, because he and I have talked quite a bit. I know a good majority of the season is assigned. Our applicants, you'll start to see them flow in there very soon. JP's worked really hard to get as many three-man games as we can get going. And probably what you'll see as we move forward is each week or so before, you might see some movement in your schedule a little bit as we try and match people up and integrate people in and deal with any changes. And knock on wood, we don't get any injuries, but that always messes up the schedule. So please continue to be flexible with JP. With that, make sure when something comes up in your life, if you don't have a game already, that you get that blocked. So that makes it easy. There's nothing more frustrating than to assign somebody games and then they turn them all back with stuff they should have known. And it does get frustrating when it happens over and over again with the same people. 99% you do a great job with it. If you have questions about assigning, if something's changed in your situation, anything like that, send JP an email or a text. The best thing you do is kind of communicate what's best for you and what works for you. As far as getting assigned, if you're new and you don't have a ton of games yet, don't worry. If you have availability, they'll be coming. I don't think Mike is on the call. I did not see Mike Wilbur.
Yes, I'm here.
You are?
Yes, I am.
What are you under?
Hell, if I know, I just log in.
Ah, you're on Michael's iPad.
Yes,
So,
that would be it.
Mike gives a VP report, and he and I are going to talk tomorrow or Tuesday about mentorship. And I'll talk about that, or he'll talk about that, so we get mentors for our new guys. Go ahead.
And that's what I want to talk about. There will be an email coming out in the next couple of days explaining what a mentor is and what you're supposed to do. And how many do we need, Greg?
Probably if we could get 10, that would be good. We certainly need 5 for the applicants. And then I think, our second year people, we'd like to probably get an applicant for them. And I know I'll talk to
anyone else that might want
Yeah.
a mentor. It doesn't have to be a second year, it could be a third or a fourth year. So if we have people, we'll work with you and get someone assigned. And basically the program is for a less experienced official to be able to run some scenarios, game questions through one person instead of bothering Greg all the time or JP. And this is someone that you get to know. Hopefully, you'll be able to work a game or two together. So I try to put someone who lives close to you so that you could work some games together instead of having an upstate and a downstate person together. But for the next few days, an email will come out. Please think about it. It's a good program. It helps the newer people out. And you know how it's been a long time ago since some of it started, but you were a lost ball in tall weeds, and this is a way for someone to take the weed whacker and help you out of it. So I appreciate before I get all the emails, I appreciate anyone that wants to assist with that. Thank you.
All right, Mike. Yeah, can't emphasize having mentors enough. And when you're new, finding those people, sometimes it's good to have somebody contact you. But anybody you find who you respect, certainly make sure you call them. We do need to take a vote. JP says he is here. How many people want to hear from JP? Signify by your silence. Okay, JP, everybody's quiet, so go ahead. You can talk.
I don't have much.
Blow it up.
All I have is we're down to about 7 unaccepted assignments. I won't call you out by name, but some of you got an email yesterday that said you or your partner are in a game, or you're in a game with you or your partner has not accepted an assignment. So we're down to about 6 or 7, and then you guys know the schedule changes constantly. Just when new changes come in, make sure you go back in and assign them. Thank you for accepting your assignment so quickly. And let's have some fun starting tomorrow. That's all I got.
Thank you, JP. Mike Hernandez, you want to follow up on anything with youth? I know you've been doing the classes.
Yeah, so did another class today. I got about 12 to 13 kids. 13, if I can do the math correctly. We're only going to have Smyrna, Camden, and Middletown. D-Turf isn't doing it again. I got the schedule. So the schedule starts on April 6th, that's Saturday. It runs for 6 weeks. I know Donnie Gallagher could use help too. Just check in with me, check in with JP, especially because JP comes first before youth. And we'll get those game assignments out. I'm gonna do the same thing as last year. On Saturday or Sunday, I'm gonna send out what the sites are for the next week. Just send me your availability, and then just please respond in a timely manner after I send the assignments out. That way I can make sure I get everything covered. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Mike. One other thing with the signing, emails are starting to go around about summer assigning. Just kind of remember that the tournaments that we actually have come first. So if you do talk to another assigner, and that's fine, you're independent contractors, and we'll refer, you to assigners, as we know they need stuff. But your answer to them when they ask you for stuff off in the future is, I'm good as long as the DLOA doesn't have anything that day. Just make sure you clarify that, so that our guys are getting our games and we don't have to fight to find other people. And most of the signers we work with understand that. Brett Townsend is our incident chair. The only time you'd probably hear from Brett is when you file an incident report and he needs clarification or something like that. But Brett, do you have anything that you wanted to share?
That I do not. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. But just if you are filing some sort of incident report, just try to if you're wondering who to contact about it, whether it's me or JP Bennett or Greg Bulger, the answer is you can't go wrong just doing all three, putting all of us in a group text or in a group email and giving us as much information leading up to, about, and after the event as possible. And don't make the mistake of just getting numbers if you're getting player information. Make sure you get their names as well. It never hurts to sort of delay any sort of restarts. Just try to get as much information as you can about the actual player names themselves if reporting an incident. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Brett.
Hey, Greg, I have a question for Brett.
Okay.
Brett, are you still there?
Yes. No, yeah, absolutely. I'm still here.
I just sent you an email 15, 20 minutes ago. Did you receive that?
Yeah, I looked in my spam box for it. Yeah. But it got there.
Okay. Just to let everyone know, if you had an incident at the end of last year, your last game, and there was any game suspensions or ejections out of that, they have to serve the first game this year. So I know I had one game that there were several suspensions, but I don't know if they were underclassmen or not. That's all I have.
Yeah, he's made that.
Yeah, and kind of with that, what Mike's saying, probably be good. Just send a reminder email to Brett of anything you maybe had where we had, an ejection or an issue towards the end of the season, in case we get questions. I do know that the DIA can at times, and I think they like to. So if a kid is going to serve a suspension from a spring sport after the season, they often can require them to sit, in another sport. So, it's good to let Brett know and let us know if we have issues. In the end, if anybody ever does tell you they think a player is ineligible, just make a note of it and tell them to make sure they contact the DIAA. All right, a couple of loose ends I want to go over really quick, and we're going to do a little bit with incident reports and a few other things. The test was due tonight. I did quickly send some emails out to some of you who have not completed the NFHS exam. Please do that. If you think you got that in error, please let me know. If you took the exam in another state, they don't give you a certificate anymore, but if you can give me a screenshot from Dragonfly or something showing you took it and what your score was, I do have the ability to go in and fix that for you so it shows up like you took the test. So make sure you're taking care of that. I know when you look at the exam, it's going to give you a little bit different due date. The 18th is our association's due date. It's a liability thing to make sure everybody's taking the test and they meet all of our requirements. So if you have any questions, there are also a few of you that still maybe need to take the clinic, a couple other little things here and there. Please go back into Dragonfly and make sure that your areas for the DIAA and the DLOA are 100% complete. If you have questions, ask me. Game reports. Okay, these are the reports for every game. They are required, and I'll show you a slide in a minute with some other requirements. The referee on the crew completes it after every game. We've given you cards with a QR code with the report, so you can do it on your phone very easily. Not sure if it works on a flip phone, but it works on other phones. The report's pretty simple to fill out. And we use that. One of the big parts of that is you're going to award each team sportsmanship. And that's how we determine the team sportsmanship at the end of the year. That's worked really well. So kind of as you're coming off the field and do briefing, just, ask your partners what they think they should get, each team should get for sportsmanship. That's the game report. The incident report, also on that card's the other QR code for the incident report. Those need to be filled out. If you have an ejection or a fight or something really bad, immediate call to JP. If JP doesn't answer, call me and then call Brett. Okay, we always want to get ahead of those things before any other narrative gets out. Make sure that JP and Brett especially understand exactly what happened, so we can communicate that quickly to the DIAA from our perspective, and we don't get a lot of noise. So that's an immediate call. If you do have that ejection or fight, email all three of us. Brett made a great point. It's best just to get it to all of us. Email your narrative of what happened, and then complete the report on the form that night. If you gave a unsportsmanlike conduct to a coach, okay, just complete the incident report by noon the following day. You don't have to make a phone call or anything like that. Just file that report. If you have any immediate concerns about field, facility, anything like that, bring those up with JP and I, and we'll fix those. Those particularly would be every once in a while, we find maybe a safety issue or a team that doesn't enable to put the table back far enough. Don't make a big deal about it. Go with it, and then let JP or I deal with it, and we'll get it as best as we can. And also, you would put that in your game report as a referee. Just to remind you, we do have a social media policy. Social media is rampant with questions, bad information, attacks on referees, all that. Don't comment on any of it. Don't get involved in any of it. Don't even try to really clarify. So you think somebody has a rule wrong or a situation wrong in a game that happened, especially in Delaware, you can only get yourself in trouble. Okay. If there's some sites have you make the call discussions, those are fine as long as they're not specific to a game or a person or a coach or an official. All right. I'm going to leave this up for just a minute. This is what I talked about. If you don't have that card, you can get these links. I will also put these links in an email that goes out tomorrow. Please, 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 either if you don't have this card that we gave you and you're going to be the referee, bookmark the link somewhere, write it down, take a picture of this slide. Nothing's more frustrating than on April 25th, you get a call from a guy and they don't know how to file a referee report. So I think we've given you all the tools you need, so make sure we're getting those done. And I will give you about 30 more seconds.
Hey, Greg.
Are there any questions to this point, Mike?
Hey, Greg, just real quick. Guys for down south, if you didn't go to the Grottos meeting, I do have extra cards. If you do not have them, just text me and I'll figure out a way to get you a packet of those cards. That way you have them.
Mike, do you also have some of the little laminated cards with these QR codes on them? Did I give you some of those?
I think they are. I can double check if they're in my car right now, but I'm pretty sure I saw them in there.
If you don't, let me know and I'll mail some down because I don't think I'm going to see you for a little bit. But I'll get those down to you.
Hello.
And
Welcome
if you think
to the Fairfax meeting of the minds.
No.
Yep, I'll let you know.
Yep. All right. So that's that. All right. Uniform requirements. Everybody should have all the uniform stuff. I'm not going to read everything, but the next 3 slides will have this QR code on it. That goes right to the All Sports Officials DLOA store. If you don't have 2-inch stripes at this point, if you're missing something, get that very quickly. I will say, Here's our uniform combinations. Make sure we're following those. If you work with somebody who does not have the correct shirt, you can anonymously let me know. I will say if you can't find or wear the correct uniform, it will probably hurt your schedule in the long run. Okay, we've done everything we can do to get this right. It's very important that we look uniform and good on the field. It just shows consistency. So I know I've heard a couple guys are still wearing older shirts or shirts that don't conform with our policies. So please make sure that you have these, and that when you're talking, you're wearing these combinations, and you have all the elements of each combination in your car at all times. You never know what's going to happen. And then these are the kind of forbidden stuff. The short pants with a black jacket. You can wear the jacket up onto the field, like if it's drizzling, you're going to wear shorts, or you wear short pants. But once you get the game with that, you lose the black jacket. And then all the rest of these we do not want. Again, it's very important that everybody's dressed the same. It really helps out, especially when you get in sticky situations in games. If one guy sticks out, it's very easy to say, hey, the guy with the shirt that obviously hadn't been washed in 6 months, or the guy with the 1-inch stripes, or the guy wearing the pants, or, oh, that guy had a short sleeve shirt, everybody had long sleeve shirts. It doesn't bode well. So please make sure you have all this. If you have questions, please call me immediately so we can get them fixed. Just real quick on our game day requirements. Just remember, it's the referee's responsibility to contact the school. We want to make sure that we verify locations, number of games, and then provide a contact number that the AD can get. Some ADs will tell you not to email them. They don't want to be bothered. Just bother them. Okay. That way you protect yourself. If there's ever a mistake in the arbiter, a game time problem, a location problem, and that's what was in the arbiter, and everybody shows up and you contacted him, and he can get back to you. It makes it easier to bill them for those games and make sure that you get paid for your time. 24 hours before the game, make sure the whole crew is talking. Everybody knows where you're meeting, where the game is. We all have the same information. We all have contact numbers. Confirm what uniform you think you're going to wear. But again, kind of like George said at our early meeting this year, have everything all the time. You never know. You never know when you'll be on your way to Concord and JP will say, hey, I need you to go to Wilmington Christian. And you get there and they're wearing a different uniform. So please have everything in the car all the time so you're ready to go. And then everybody should be confirming. All right. And then real quick, when you get there, everybody should be in a parking lot getting ready to go 30 minutes at the least. Should be a little more than that. Make sure everybody's dressed, ready to go. Quick pregame. You've listened to me enough talk and complain about pre-games. They are incredibly important. And usually if you have a bad game or you're not on the same page or things happen, you can often point back to no pregame or a crappy pregame. So they're super important. We want to be on the field 20 minutes before the game starts. Make sure you meet with the head coaches. The crew cards are required. Please always point out the survey. This year, and I'll slow down because this is important. Make sure you explain and they understand the helmet rules. Make sure you warn them about equipment rules. Okay, now that improperly wearing equipment or altering it improperly is now a 1 minute non-releasable penalty. Give them that warning. Okay, make sure you talk to them and make sure they understand the eye black rules and they've straightened all that out. Okay, it's always good to give them those quick warnings. You're then going to meet with the captains again, kind of go over the same things with them. That serves as another warning. I do like you to meet with the face-off guys just so they meet you, they know you. We're telling the same thing every time, but you might have a little bit different thing. They might have a question. And also, I tell the face-off guys when I meet them, you're the guy we see the most. So I like to have a good relationship with you because I may send a message back to your coach or to your team through you. And if I have a good relationship with you, I know that message is going to get there and be received and heard. Then you want to meet with the table, confirm either there's a horn, an air horn or an electronic horn that works at the end of every period that they can use. If they do not have a horn, that's something you need to put on your game report, and it's something you need to let JP and I know so we can get with the AD and remind them that that is a requirement to have a horn. Beginning of the season, don't start banging them and taking the ball away. Let's really try and work with them to get the horn there. If they don't have a horn, for the first game or two, make sure the people at the table know to really help you out with the time. Make sure the table understands penalty timing procedures, end of quarter procedures, and foul recording in the book. Just show them what's important and let them know. And then after the game, you spend a few minutes with your partners. Go over the game. What do you think? The best question that you can ever hear on a field, and I ask it after a game. Do you have anything for me? Is there anything I could have done different? What did you think? And I don't care if it's a guy who's got 30 more years than me or 20 less years than me. It's always good to get that feedback. It's always go over situations, figure out could we have handled it a little differently. What did we think? Maybe hear a different perspective on how it went down. And then make sure the referee completes the game report. And then, of course, this post-game debriefs are always better in a place that serves adult beverages. If you're of adult age, I know we have a couple guys who might not be at that age, so I'm not encouraging you to do that, but you certainly go and have a Coke. All right. And that is all I have for this part. Are there any questions about what I just covered, or any questions about any of those policies? Well, I put the Kahoot thing back up here and give everybody 3 or 4 minutes to make sure they're in there.
Hey, Greg,
Apparently,
I was
if
just
you're
gonna,
hold on. If you're on your phone and you just slide back to the Kahoot, it will come right back. But make sure we have everybody logged in. I'll give you 3 minutes. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
no, you're good. Just with the uniform thing, guys, if you work a youth game with one of my youth refs and they have a 1-inch striped shirt, don't worry about it. Some of the guys are a little hard up on money. They're getting what they can. They can definitely get a shirt. They just can't sometimes pay the some of the 2-inch striped shirts are costing. It's a little easier for them to buy the 1-inch. That's a little cheaper. If they have it, if you have a 1-inch striped shirt, wear it if you can, if you still have it. If not, if you guys don't match exactly, it's not a big deal. What Greg's saying is more for the high school ranks.
Yep. And with that said, if you are new in the last 2 years and you only have 2-inch stripes and you're working some youth games, let me know. We did have some donations of some 1-inch stripes, so you don't have to go out and buy them, and it would look better. And some of those I'm going to give to US Lacrosse, but it'd always be great to give them out to our people. All right, we need to get more guys in the Kahoot. We
Hey,
have
Greg, I had a
30 guys
question.
so hold on, 30 guys on the call and only about 12. Go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
Am I able to close out this app and pull up Kahoot while still staying on the Zoom?
I think you can.
Okay.
I know on my iPhone I can take the Zoom and kind of slide it off to the side and get on, but I can't say 100%.
Okay, so Kahoot. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
All right, very good, Greg. Thank you. And also, Greg came late. Greg is a transfer from Frederick. Greg Esch, so you may see him. So welcome him to the group. He wasn't in when we were introducing people. All right, I want to give it 1 more minute. We're starting to get some people in here. This one may be a little trickier than some of the other ones we did. It's going to cover a lot of new rules. Also, I sent in the email today, everybody should have got from Arbiter. I sent out the latest memo from the NFHS. There's a lot of situations in there pertaining to equipment and helmets. I recommend you print that baby out, highlight it up, put it with your rule book, and there's some great pregame material for a while, because There's a lot of different situations that could occur with the helmet coming off. Most of them make sense if you think about them, but it's always good to kind of read through them. So, all right, we'll give 30 more seconds. See if anybody joins. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we'll start. All right, let's get the cool sound out. So our first couple questions we'll have to do with Rule 5.4, checks involving the header, neck, or defenseless players. Okay, it's a quiz. Most of these will be multi-selections, so you may be able to pick more than one. There's video. I'll keep playing the video through the whole minute. Because of the video, I've given every question a minute. Okay, we're down to about 15 seconds. Okay, so in this case, there were actually probably 2 correct answers that you could go with. One was an illegal body check, 2 minutes non-releasable with direct contact to the head. I think we all can probably agree that that was right to the head. You also would not be wrong if you said you were targeting a defenseless player for 2 minutes non-releasable. It's probably on the border because I think the kid knows he's there and he's looking right at him for a moment before he gets hammered. So either of those would be correct. If you see that hit and you call it an illegal body check and only give a minute and you release it, JP will be calling you. And there was not indirect contact to the head in that case. So if you felt maybe there was indirect contact to the head, then you go right to the targeting. That's a 2-minute foul all day, every day. Okay. So let's see. We had 10 people get one right, 9 people. We did have a few people who did not have correct answers at all. Let's see who did a good job and who got it quickly. All right. So Chris, I think LG is Larry Gilmore, and then Evan Earhart, the rookie, hitting the scoreboard early. All right, let's look at the next one. It's another you make the call. I'll keep playing it. The next question will rate the flag toss by the official. He did try to throw it in mid count, so at least he was counting on the single side. One more. Okay. So 7 of you were correct. That is a slash 1 minute releasable. Okay. Definitely not a brush. All right, and definitely wouldn't fall under the contact to the head rules. And this has been a point of confusion in some of the scrimmages and some of the calls and some of the stuff I've done nationally with U.S. lacrosse, and it happens every time they change the locked-in status of fouls. For the most part, the contact to the head refers to cross checks, illegal body checks that either ride up and hit a guy in the head or hit a guy directly. A slash to the head, in most cases, is just still, it's a slash. It's not that much different than a slash to the leg, to the arm, to the back. You're going to give the guy 1 minute and you're going to release it. The only real exceptions, and in the rule, it talks about violent, deliberate contact to the head. If the kid is not playing lacrosse and he uses it as an axe handle, a baseball bat, it's way outside the context of the play, and he just swings and hits the kid in the head, then by all means, think about locking the kid in. In a lot of cases when they do that, that's probably going to be an automatic ejection because it's just not lacrosse. It's you're trying to hurt a kid. But just a slash, a swing of the stick that hits the helmet is not automatically a non-releasable foul. Okay, so make sure we understand that we're consistent with it, and you can talk to coaches through it. But just a slash, that hits the helmet is not going to put a kid in the box full time. Also, if it's still a brush, you still have a brush, which wouldn't even be a slash. If a kid has a good up check on the hands and he rattles the kid's cage a little bit, he's running through, and you want to call that a brush, you can call that a brush. The kid runs through a guy and the helmet kind of slides across his head, but there was no force, no contact, no intent to brush. The only thing I'll say is do not, give like I had a brush or that was a brush. Don't do any brush symbol because you get in trouble when your partner didn't think it was a brush and throws a flag. Make sense? Okay. And all of this, well, first let's see where our scores are. All right. So Michael Hernandez, Brett, and Chris Earhart have pulled up high. All right. So basically what I wanted to do is all right, all of these next ones will have to do with Rule 24, Article 11, which is new. It has to do with the helmets coming off. Okay, so the question was, if somebody's helmet falls off, they must substitute within 10 seconds. The correct answer is false. Does anybody want to tell me what the correct, how long do they get to substitute when the helmet comes off?
20 seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. So for those old timers who remember sideline horns, put your hands up, start your timer. They've got up to 20 seconds. Okay, so if the kid who lost his helmet gets off and the kid with his helmet comes on, and everybody else has gotten all their subbing done, everybody can sub during that situation. Okay. As soon as everybody's ready to play, you don't have to wait 10 seconds for your timer to go off. You're ready to go, but they get up to 20 seconds. Okay, to sub in those situations. Okay. Here we go. Uh-oh. Brett was not thinking.
I selected
Right,
red, and that's what it gave me.
Well, somehow you lost a lot of points, just probably for a yellow watch. Right. And if you were just listening, you already have.
Hey, Greg, sorry to butt in. What's the code to Kahoot? I've been trying to download it and all this stuff.
It's down at the bottom. It's the game pin. 5641325.
325.
5641325.
All right, a minute. Think.
All right. All right. Very good. Everybody got it right. Either you were listening or you're just a smart person or smart people. So when we have this situation where a helmet comes off, like I said, it's like the old school horn. Everybody can sub. Doesn't matter. It's not just that person or anything like that. And they have up to 20 seconds to make those substitutions. Okay. And up to is the important part of that. The 20 seconds is less important. All right. Let's see. All right. We've got a battle here between Mike Hernandez and Chris Earhart. Tommy Kern is filling in, Larry Gilmore and Chuck. Okay. Continuing. All of these will have may have multiple correct answers. So you want to select every one that is correct for each question. So in this case, A1 has possession. His helmet comes off as he is about to shoot. Okay, he shoots after the helmet has fallen off and the ball enters the goal. Okay, so the correct answer is it's going to be an immediate whistle. Okay, he still has the ball on his stick. He hasn't shot yet. Even if he's winding up to shoot, the helmet is coming off. So even it could still be kind of on the top of his head coming off. But if it's obviously coming off, we're going to immediate whistle. Okay. That player then has to leave the field till the next dead ball following resumption of play. Okay. So three whistles. And the goal is no good. Okay. Do you understand that? Any questions? Let's see where we went. All right. Chris Earhart taking the lead. Right, next question. Another multi-select. I'm giving everybody a long time because the possibility of multi-selecting and different things. Okay, so in this situation, A1 has the ball. He is illegally checked in some way by B1, and A1 loses his helmet. Okay, very good. So helmet comes off. It's an immediate whistle. Player B1 is going to serve a 1, 2, or 3 minute penalty. And just for clarification, too, Kahoot only allows me to put so many words on these answers. That could be a releasable or non-releasable depending on the situation. Okay. And team A is going to get the ball outside of the goal area. So they will get the ball back because A, they had possession of the ball, and B, they were fouled. Okay. A1 may not remain on the field even if he is not injured. Okay, they have to leave the field, and they cannot come on until after the next dead ball. So 3 whistles. See where we're at. All right. Chris is pulling away here. Okay, again, A1 has the ball. This time he is legally checked by player B1, and A1's helmet comes off. What are we doing? Okay, so yes. Okay, so that's the common theme, right? The immediate whistle on the loss of the helmet, and the player must leave the field until after next dead ball following resumption of play. The question here was who gets the ball. Okay, so it was Team A had the ball. All right, was checked legally, lost his helmet. We're giving the ball right back to Team A. Okay, he had possession, he had it. There is no technical foul. There's no turnover in Federation High School lacrosse because they lost the helmet. So we would award the team ball, but right back to Team A outside of the goal area. But you understand that? Okay. Team had possession of the ball. Helmet comes off. Whatever the situation is, they keep the ball.
So Greg, so that's different from the college rule, correct?
That's different from NCAA. When we get into the summer, we'll do some clarification with everybody where they treat it like any other equipment violation. But for right now, high school lacrosse, it is not a foul to lose your helmet. So there's no technical foul. So if you had possession, you keep possession. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. I had less words, so I could put this in a different spot. The ball is loose. A1 helmet comes off. What is the correct ruling? All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Very good. Okay. So I think we're getting it. Immediate whistle. Helmet comes off. Boom. We're killing it. Player who lost his helmet leaves till after the next dead ball following resumption of play. In this case, on a loose ball, we're awarding ball by alternate possession. Okay. There's no, again, they have not made losing your helmet a technical foul like other equipment, playing without other equipment, anything like that. So the only choice we have when the ball is loose and we have to kill the play in that case is award the ball by alternate possession, except for one situation? Who can think of that situation where a helmet comes off on a loose ball and we would not award it by alternate possession?
It would be if it's
Face off.
the face off, right? If it's in between the restraining lines, we'd reface, correct?
A face-off that has not there was never possession, and the ball did not cross either restraining line. Okay, you would reface that just like any other situation. As soon as it crosses the restraining line, or it's possessed and then dropped, then this is what you would do. All right. Look at Tommy Kern making a run. Next one. So in this one, A1 has possession of the ball, and for some reason, B1's helmet comes off. So you actually read the answers. Okay. So yes, immediate whistle upon loss of the helmet. Team A gets the ball because they had possession. Okay. The trick in there, and for most of you, you caught it. Okay. B1 must leave the field. So the players whose helmet came off has to leave, and we're not awarding the ball by alternate possession. The other option I could have put in here was B1 serves 30-second technical foul. High school rules, that is not true. There's no technical foul for the helmet coming off. Okay. He's got to come off. We restart with Team A having the ball outside of the goal area. All right. Still doing good. Okay. A1 shoots. Well, the shot is in the air. A1's helmet comes off. The ball goes into the goal. So this one's a little different than the first scenario, which was the helmet came off before the shot was in the air. Now the shot's in the air. Okay. So this is the one situation where we're not going to have an immediate whistle. Okay. If you blow the whistle while the shot's in the air, the ball is now dead. It can't be a good goal. Okay. So when the shot is in the air and the helmet comes off for whatever reason, let the shot finish. So you're in this case, since I said it went in the goal, it's going to be a good goal. If the shot went out of bounds, we're going to award it on our normal shot thing. And then A1 must leave the field until the next dead ball following resumption of play. Okay. In this case, we're not awarding the ball because we're going to have a face-off, hopefully, because we had a goal. Does that make sense to everybody? this is the only situation where we don't get an immediate whistle. All right. The whistle would come after the shot has been concluded. A1 still has to leave the field. And we're going to have a face-off, so we're not going to award the ball. Now, if the shot goes out of bounds, you're going to award the ball to whoever would have normally got shot. Okay, so if the offense is closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds, you're going to give it back to the offense. If the defense, you're going to give it to the defense. A1 still leaves the field. All right. And despite getting it wrong, Chris Earhart hangs on to his lead. All right. Coming down the home stretch. All right. So in this situation, player A loses helmet, must leave the field until the next dead ball. Coach A calls a timeout. What do we got? Okay, so let's go over it. The one thing they have made very clear is the coach cannot use a timeout to buy his player back in. And I'll come back to that in a minute. There's a way they could do it. But if they call the timeout immediately, okay, he can't just come back in. We're certainly not giving the ball by alternate possession because we don't really know the situation. We're assuming A is going to have the ball. Okay, Coach A is allowed to call a timeout in any dead ball situation. So he's certainly allowed to call the timeout. Player A still has to wait to return until after the next dead ball after the restart. That makes sense to everybody? Now, assuming A1's getting the ball back. Okay. So they have possession of the ball. You blow the whistle for the restart. As soon as you blow the whistle for the restart, now the coach can call timeout and he can get his player back in the game. Does that make sense? So when a helmet comes off, there's 3 whistles. The whistle for the helmet coming off, a whistle restarting play, okay, and then a whistle for the next dead ball. So if you had this situation, so the helmet came off, you had a whistle, okay, we restart play, you had a whistle. Within, immediately the timeout, you've blown a whistle, you restart play, coach says timeout, that's 3 whistles. Make sense? All right, we only have a couple more to go here. Okay, and this is I just want to put the rule up there now. This is the rule out of the book. If a player has the helmet come off during play, play shall be suspended immediately and player shall leave the field until after the next dead ball following the resumption of play. All of these situations, I sent out a PDF copy and a link to the NFHS memo that came out this week. There are even more situations, but if you grasp the situations that we went over here, the other ones kind of make sense. They just add little wrinkles to them. So please print that thing out, go through it, use it in your pre-games, make sure you understand to get this right, okay? If you have any questions, let JP know as a rules interpreter. You certainly call me, I'll help you out and do that. All right, another new rule: a player may not use equipment that does not conform to specifications. That's always been a rule. They made some changes in the language and some changes in the enforcement. So let's get a couple questions with that. All right, so we're looking at this player and his elbow pads. Okay, in this one, there was only one correct answer. Okay, that's 1 minute non-releasable foul. That's new this year. So if they're not wearing the arm pads correctly, they've done something obvious to alter equipment. Cut the fingers out of the gloves, not just wear on the gloves, but they physically cut the fingers out. Aren't wearing shoulder pads, anything like that. That is a 1 minute non-releasable foul. Okay, we're not stopping play. Okay, it's just if we see it, we're going to throw the flag, and then we will assess the penalty like any other penalty. The player does not have to leave the field if he can pull him down. He can stay on. Well, he's going to leave the field, but not until the next dead ball because he's going to serve a penalty. Chris, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking on a small screen, Greg, so apologize if it's not correct. But didn't the guy with the bad elbow pads have the ball? In which case we would throw the flag, stop play, and give him a penalty, and then
in that case, in that case you would. That's correct. None of the options. That's a good observation. None of the options really had to do, with that. You're not going to stop if it's a defender that has him. You're not going to stop play immediately. Okay. The big thing is it's a 1 minute non-releasable foul. We talked about this at the clinic, talked about it a couple of times. Please talk to the coaches, talk to the players, just like we did with the eye black last year, and we're going to do again this year. Be as preventative as possible. Okay. This is kind of a controversial type of foul. A lot of lacrosse purists, I might be one of them, doesn't really like giving a penalty for something that really has nothing to do with the play of the game. And just because the kid is stupid and doesn't want to wear his little ouch pads, is it really worthy of a penalty? The NFHS thinks so. Our hope is that we can be very preventative. If you're gonna enforce this, okay, which it's a rule, it should be enforced in the first 5 minutes of the game. Okay. Or the first quarter at the least. Please do not all of a sudden decide to wake up with 5 minutes to go in a tie game and figure out that one of the kids is not wearing his arm pads correctly and throw a flag. Okay. If you have options during the game and the kid, maybe they're not fitting right or whatever, you get close to the kid and talk to him and ask him. That's certainly within your latitude to do. But if you're not getting cooperation, just like the eye black, and they're not doing it right, yes, throw the flag. All right. Next one. All right. Okay. Ignore the fact that the kid is wearing a mouthpiece here. I just want to have a picture of a mouthpiece. But that's player B1. He's not properly wearing a mouthpiece. What are we doing? Okay. So very good. The majority of us got it. It is a technical foul. It's possession, or if the team has possession and you're going to call this, it's going to be a 30-second foul. It's not a 1 minute non-releasable foul. And I'll show you in a second, the rule specifically excludes mouthpieces in that 1 minute that they added this year. Players not have to leave the field, and we're not going to just stop play and tell the person to put the mouthpiece in. Okay. Again, this is another one of those rules. I've said it, stated it publicly. Kind of sucks for us that these kids, they've been practicing now for nearly a month. I guarantee you, if they didn't show up with their mouthpiece, there was no retribution, there was no consequence, anything like that. But you will show up tomorrow and you're supposed to call a foul. Okay. Again, warnings early. Get this early. To me, the best one is face-off kid comes out early in the game without his mouthpiece, take the ball away. That's the best time to do this because everybody sees it. Everybody's focused on the face-off people, all that. If you throw a flag later in the game or you pull a kid out, in the middle of an offensive set and take the ball away, nobody really understands as well what happened. But if that face-off guy walks up, doesn't have his mouthpiece in, and you send him off, coach, he did not have his mouthpiece. I'm giving the ball away. Everybody knows exactly what just happened. That's our best case scenario. All right. Any questions about that? So here is the actual, just so you can see the rule. Rule 5.6, player may not use equipment that does not conform to specifications. Use of illegal equipment or failure to properly wear mandatory equipment will be penalized as a non-releasable foul. Exception is the mouthpiece. So that hasn't changed. Any questions about that? All right, let's see our podium. There's John, Tom, and Chris Earhart. So runners up, Chuck and Mike B. So I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Townsend and Mr. Hernandez, who are usually up there. Chris Nutter's usually up there. So anyway, there were a lot of questions there. Please go through that memo. Make sure we're spending time, understanding all those different situations. If you have questions about rules or application, certainly let JP or myself know. And we'll get that straight. The important thing with all of these rules is that we're doing it consistently. There's nothing worse than, Joey referee shows up one day and gives 18 personal fouls for mouthpieces, and then Mikey referee shows up the next day and says, oh no, it's a technical foul, and he gets it taken care of right away. So we want to make sure we're consistent with all of this stuff. I asked for questions. I didn't get any emails. I did get one from a coach at a scrimmage that I wanted to just cover real quick before we close. It has to do with, so the defenseman scoops up a loose ball near the crease, and he immediately turns it over and sets it down for the goalkeeper to be able to pick up. Okay. Is that withholding? And the answer is maybe. Okay. If he holds it down for a second, okay, and everybody clears away, don't call withholding. Does that make sense? So if nobody's trying to get to that ball under the stick, okay, we're not going to call withholding. If he holds it down and there's an attackman there trying to get it out and he doesn't release it or try to pull it back or do something different with it, okay, and he's denying an offensive player an opportunity to get the ball, okay, then we're going to call withholding. Okay. In my mind, as soon as he possessed it and was able to flip it over and hold it down, he now had possession. So the 20-second timer is started. So as long as he's not keeping a player from getting to the ball, All right. And they want to make sure they make that exchange easily. All right. Don't call withholding. They're already using their clearing count. Okay. If there's a fight for the ball, if an attackman is right there trying to get to it and he's holding it down, keeping it from getting it, or if the goalie holds it down and doesn't rake it back, then we have a case for withholding. Any questions? Are there any other rules questions anybody saw at our scrimmages? All right. Everybody have a great first week. I think I'm not sure when spring breaks start for these schools. I know we'll kind of start and then we'll slow down. Because of spring breaks, and then it really picks up. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're stretching. Make sure you're hydrated, and most importantly, have fun. All right. If there's nothing else, I'm going to close the meeting. Good job.
You guys have a good day, guys.
Why is my battery dying? Fucking